Jordan, if you want to say do a goal throughout your speech, just go for it, mate.
Do you know what, right? I don't even know how that came about.
I just love it now when other teams use it and you just get tagged in it. I was like, oh, look at you, like, copyright Jordan.
So the famous catchphrase.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was a Premier League team that used it not that long ago. I think it might have been Leicester. And I had everyone commenting underneath like, oh, guys, like, you know, give the man credit and all that. And I'm just like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Like, I don't really know how it started. Like, I done it, like the first time I ever done it was just like a bit of, well, it's always been a bit of a joke, hasn't it? You know, it's just a bit of fun. Everyone seems to love it, like. But I done it when, I think it was during the Potter season. I just done it as like a little bit of a joke. And it worked. And then the following week it worked again. And I was like, hang on a minute, there's a bit of a pattern going on here. And I just kept on doing it, and it worked. I think the best one I done was the playoffs. Well, it wasn't in like during the playoffs. It was the final game of the season against Reading, and we needed 2 goals. So I just put, you know what, let's push the boat down a bit by do 2 goals, and and it worked. And I was like, do you know what, I might as well retire now. I'm never getting better than that. So.
Welcome back to Swans Cast, everyone. So another special episode today where we've got a guest featuring Jordan Webber. Is that your name right there? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So welcome, Jordan. I know a lot of people might recognise you from Twitter. So where on Twitter can they find you?
My name, so it'll just be Jordan Webber 96, and that's it. That's where you'll be able to find me.
Yeah, I think top of the pops when it comes to the Swans Twitter sphere. But yeah, so having said that, then I'd like to get your take before we get into the pre-match of Nottingham Forest, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Just a little bit of a brief overview on your take on basically the season so far. Then, how have you found the season so far?
Well, a lot of people are saying that we're overachieving at the moment, which me personally, I don't agree with. I think if you look at the end of last season where we just got into the playoffs, I think going into this season, I think that was like the bare minimum. Really was playoffs. Yeah. You know, we had to take it up a notch as well, and we definitely have. I mean, you look at the window. We haven't lost any real big name players, and we strengthened where we need to. And I think now we really should be looking at automatics. So overall, it's been a brilliant season.
It has indeed.
So we've already had some good games. Like Cardiff away, which was brilliant. I think that was the making of Jamal Lowe as well. Coming into form, and like I said, January window, like where we got Morris, who looks decent. Like we haven't seen enough of him yet to judge, to be honest. But against Man City the other night, he did cause a couple of problems, and I think Hourihane has been phenomenal so far. I think he's got 3 goals in 3 games. But overall, I think it's been a brilliant season. And Cooper sticking with 5 at the back as well. I don't know how people refer to it, like 3 at the back and 2 wing backs.
Yeah, I think it depends on the opposition sometimes, doesn't it, and how they're much. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Barnsley away, and Cooper made a couple of subs, and obviously we had to change the formation then. So yeah, you are right. It all depends who we are playing, but for the majority of the games, I think 5 at the back is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. So you mentioned a couple of players there. So obviously you said Jamal Lowe he kind of came of himself a bit in the Cardiff game. Some of the new signings, Joan Morris looked lively, and Hourihane's obviously been a massive impact as soon as he's come in. So this season so far then, who has been the key players who have stood out for you?
I think the main one, like personally anyway, for me would be Ryan Bennett. When we lost Joe, I was saying the other day, the only thing I was gutted about with Joe was how much he went for. Was 11 million, which isn't obviously it's a lot of money to me, like, but in the footballing world, it's nothing these days, and I do think we could have got a lot more for him. But I think Ryan Bennett coming in was the perfect replacement. You can clearly see with Bennett, like he's been there and done it in the Championship, like with Norwich, Wolves, and he's using all that experience now. And I think he's a big part as well as to why players like Gurry and Cabango are playing really well. Obviously, two young boys next to him. But again, those two deserve mention as well. Cabango and Gurry, absolutely phenomenal. And I think Connor Roberts as well. It'd be quite harsh not to give him a shout out, I think, but there, considering you look at his stats this season, absolutely phenomenal.
Well, I usually use SofaScore when we're doing these videos for it gives a good idea of how the players are doing with their stats, because they use a lot of things to calculate like average performance ratings and stuff like that. And for the Championship in general, like every club, Connor Roberts is actually ranked as the 5th top player. So that definitely agrees with what you've just said in terms of his stats and performances this season. So definitely worth a shout out.
I think there was one not that long ago where he had, I think he's 4th in like the European leagues, like in terms of like chances created.
Yeah.
I think it was Buendia, which, you know, understandable. I think he's a class player for Norwich. And then you had Grealish then, but Connor Roberts was above players like Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne. And I think that just shows how far he's come along. I know he had his critics at some points last season, but this season he hasn't put a foot wrong. I think he's took his game to a completely different level. And
he's pretty much playing 90 minutes week in, week out as well, which is...
he's got a hell of an engine on him.
His fitness is mad. Okay, so it's been a really good positive season so far. Some players have had really good performances. So the last thing I want to touch on, and, you know, like I said, potentially we can expand more in the future, but the season then has been good, but can we actually get over the line, and can we go up this year?
Don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't looked like at any point this season. I mean, I'm probably going to jinx this now, but we haven't looked like at any point in the season looked like we're going to crash. I think we've got that depth now, which is obviously really important in like a championship season. You know, there's a lot of games and they all come thick and fast. And in previous seasons, let's say, for example, like one of our key players got injured, you'd be a little bit worried. You start thinking, right, okay, well, who's going to come in from now? And you look at the players we got in our starting 11, if one of them got injured or was suspended, let's say, obviously you don't want that, but you look at the bench and who we've got to replace them, it's very much a like for like. And I think that's really important now with getting us over the line. I definitely think we can do it. I mean, you've got Norwich and Brentford up there, which, you know, there's definitely easier teams in the league to go up against. But like I said, there's no reason why we can't do it.
Yeah, and you transitioned me quite nicely then into what I want to touch on next. So before we get there, I want to introduce, obviously, Lee is here with me again today, and Scott as well. All right, boys?
Hello.
So we're going to move on to talk about more of the pre-match stuff and some of the stuff that's happened in between. Obviously, we had the game postponement against Sheffield Wednesday on the weekend, which I think a lot of us were quite gutted about. Like, it gives us a chance to rest players, but at this stage of the season, there's not many opportunities to fill the gaps now in terms of free match days. We have got 2 games in hand ahead of the 2 ahead of us. You said Norwich and Brentford. And because Brentford did lose their last game against Barnsley, if everyone was to win every game for the remainder of the season out of us 3, we would finish top of the league. But obviously, that's a massive ask. And you'd rather have the points on the board, I think. If you agree with
definitely. That, it's going to happen. We'll finish top, boys. It's going to happen.
You're the year first.
Big claim.
You're the year first.
Big claim.
This video will be everywhere.
You can cut that out.
Now we're going to lose every single game now. Cheers, Jordan.
Like I said, I can't be held accountable if you cut it out. So just edit it out, boys, and we won't talk about it again.
and then when we finish top, I'll just add it on Twitter as a clip, is it?
When we finish top, that's a completely different story. I want that everywhere.
All right.
Timestamp and everything. Timestamp.
Yeah. So I was going to say, obviously, it's a difficult. It's frustrating that we had the game postponed because we kind of got it in our own hands now, but at the same time, we're going to be under pressure, under a bit of strain of fixture congestion, and it just makes it harder when it didn't have to be like that. Obviously, it's no one's fault. It was a frozen pitch, but a little bit annoying. That's all. But yeah, Brentford did lose, so we're going to go into our next game now this Wednesday against Nottingham Forest at home. So we obviously beat them 5-1 in the Cup. The last time we played them, completely different team. You could potentially say different setups of tactical style being a knockout cup match as well. So Lee, I'll come to you first on this one then. What do you think of the match then? Do you think it's going to be a repeat of that sort of cup game in terms of the performance and result, or is it going to be a bit more cagey? What do you think?
No, it's going to be completely different from that a cup match when we made some changes. I think they made quite a lot of changes from their league side, didn't they? I think since then they've had a bit of a resurgence, and I know they brought in Glenn Murray, didn't they? I think he scored a couple of goals, and he likes to bag a couple. So yeah, I think it's going to be completely different to the cup game. It's going to be your usual sort of cagey Swans Forest match, I think, that we've had down the years. But I think just on the games in hand and everything, you've almost got to forget about them now, because they don't mean anything. If we go and lose this game now in midweek, you kind of drop one of the games in hand then, didn't you? So I think it's just, it's a bit of a shit cliche, but it's every game as it comes now.
Yeah.
But completely different from the cup game.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with a lot of what you just said there. Scott, you got anything to add on that then?
No, yeah, like Lee said, Glenn Murray is probably the pick of the bunch on the Nottingham Forest team now. I think he, like Lee said, bags loads of goals, and at the championship level now he will just start slotting them in. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game, I think. Swansea never do it the easy way, do they, anyway? So it's always going to be a tough game. It doesn't matter who we play. But yeah, I'm just hoping for those 3 points, and I'm sure we'll get it. We will.
Yeah, and Jordan then. So how do you see the match going?
To be honest, I agree with pretty much everything that's been said. Like, Glenn Murray has been here and done in the championship. I mean, he's probably one of the most experienced strikers in the league at the moment. But I think another player we got to look out for. I mean, he does blow hot and cold, but when he's on form, he's arguably one of the best attackers in the league, and I think it's Knockaert. I think if we can keep Knockaert quiet, if he does play, then that's already like 50% of Forest's threat. Yeah. So I think if we can keep him quiet, I mean, obviously, I would like another 5-1, but
love it.
It's completely different to a cup game like that, like Lee's already touched upon. So I think we will get the 3 points. Like I think there's no reason why we can't do it. I mean, I look at all the teams in the league at the moment, and I fancy us most of the times against them. So yeah, I think we'll get the 3 points, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we are top of the form table in the league now, with Brentford obviously losing. So that is 4 wins and a draw in our last 5 matches. Obviously, the draw was against Brentford. Nottingham Forest, however, have also had good form of late. So they have had 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss in their last 5. So for them, their last 3 matches, they've had 2 away wins at Coventry and Wickham, and they drew with Bournemouth at home. And for us, obviously, the last 2 wins against Norwich and Rotherham, and a draw with Brentford. So, they are definitely picking up. They've had probably a bad season from what they were expecting. Missed out on the playoffs last year. They've had a really poor start to the season. They've had manager change. They did have a manager change, didn't they? I'm not wrong on that one. Yeah. And obviously that is probably why Glenn Murray's come in, because of the connections there. And he's got him firing because he didn't really do much at Watford, I don't think. And like you said, Knockaert probably is definitely one to watch. I think he was the one that looked the most dangerous in that cup tie. He did score for him. It was a bit of an easy goal for him in the end because of the errors we made. But he was the one that was on the end of it at the end of the day. So I was going to ask everyone about their sort of players to watch, but you've mentioned some on the Forest team. So let's have a look at maybe who we think would be important for Swansea in this game before we maybe look at making some predictions. Then we'll start with Jordan this time. So who are you looking out for the Swans to stamp their authority on this game then?
To be honest, if he kicks on the way he already has, Hurahan, I just think he gives something completely different going forward. It's nice to have an attacking-minded player. Like I know Swansea is obviously well known for the cute little passing and everything. I mean, Cooper's definitely slowly getting that back. But it's nice to have a player like in the in the Shelby mould and Sigurdsson mould, where he's happy to have a pop from anywhere.
Yeah.
And we saw that against Norwich, where he had a pop. He just thought, you know what, if it goes in, happy days. And then it's 2-0.
Hell of a strike.
And then obviously it's crucial. So Hourihane for me is definitely the main man. Trying to think who else, to be honest. I think with Knockaert as well, like we've already said, I think Bidwell and Roberts, whatever side Knockaert is playing, is going to have to be on top form. So they're the 2 or 3 players for me that have really got to step it up.
Yeah. Scott, what do you think then? Who from Swansea are you looking forward to think who's going to make a difference in this game?
Well, I'm hoping for another Connor Roberts towering header, to be honest, of, just seal it down. 1-0, reverse fixture again. Oh, imagine that. But
I thought you would have said Felton top ins.
Hey, I haven't got to it yet. Chill out. Come on now, I'm just talking about Roberts. Hey, the Scottish Pirlo top bins is coming this time, guys. I don't care what anyone says. Top right corner, okay? Just put a bet on. It's coming in.
We'll chuck that in your predictions later then.
Well, yeah, he's my goal scorer already.
Okay.
But yeah, just same as Jordan as well. But I think another name to put in there. I know Jamal Lowe, he hasn't scored in a while, so hoping that he kicks on a bit now and scores in this game at least. But yeah, if we don't score in the first half, I'm liking to see Jordan Morris come on for IU and playing Lowe and Morris on the same team for a change and see how they get along. Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be nice as well if we could potentially see Areola playing as well. Like the new boy from DC.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more of him. I know he came on against Man City, but I just feel like you just can't judge anyone from that sort of cameo.
Yeah,
you can't. I don't think you can judge anyone against Man City at the moment, can you?
No.
Nah.
But yeah, you mentioned some good stuff there, Scott, and we'll come back to a little bit of that just after Lee tells us who his players to watch are for Swans.
I agree with what the boys have said as well, but just to throw it in, I know we mentioned him earlier, but I think signing of the season, my man Bennett, I think he's been class since he's coming out.
Everyone's your man.
But
my man
Bennett is my man, and that's it.
No nonsense.
He is. Oh, I love it. Short sleeves, black boots, shirt tucked in, no nonsense. Love it. But no, like we said about Glenn Murray to me, so I think Bennett's been sort of in and out, hasn't he, since he's coming back from his injury, but I think slot him right back into the middle of the 3, and I can't see Glenn Murray causing him too much problems. But I haven't jinxed it too much. But yeah, I'll go obviously Bennett and obviously the players the boys have mentioned as well.
Yeah, that's
become a very common thing, hasn't it? Like just saying, I hope I haven't jinxed it.
Yeah, well, this video.
I know,
quickly delete this video. If we lose the game, this video will just disappear from YouTube.
You're just waiting for it. We keep saying all season that we I know it's going to be a hard game. We pick out players from Forest and Norwich and Brentford in these games. But they just seem to cut it down, don't they?
Yeah.
That back 3/5, they just seem to do it. So you've got to say which case we're jinxing it, because the minute it goes wrong, I'm sure people will let us know.
Yeah. Well, you said Bennett coming in, obviously being part of the strongest defensive unit. I would select him as part of that. I think it will be the strongest team we've got for this match, because we didn't play on the weekend. We kind of rested some for Man City, so I think we'd expect to see Bennett playing, because he has been in and out where potentially he would need a midweek rest, because obviously he's had a few hamstring problems this season. So I think he will play. Coming back to what Scott said, though, because I wanted to talk a little bit about selection. You're saying about Jamal Lowe obviously being quiet, he hasn't scored. I don't know if it will happen or not, because I know Cooper likes consistency, but you said about Morris coming in for him. Maybe he comes in from the start. Is that something that maybe Cooper could consider? What do we think?
Pipe down.
I've just asked you a question.
IU was the one that had the rest against Man City. So, a rest every now and then is always good. So if it was IU and Morris from the start, I mean, that's definitely something I wouldn't stub my nose at, and have Jamal Lowe coming on to run us some tired legs. I mean, that's going back to like what I said earlier on with the depth in the squad we have now.
Yeah, it's a selection headache a little bit.
Definitely,
You definitely got enough. It's weird because at the start of January, when we had all the loans recalled, kind of looked like we all of a sudden had no depth, and then a couple of signings, and I can't pick a team really and keep everyone happy. So it's definitely a good problem to have. Well, that's fair enough then. I think I would ask everyone their team, but I think probably we're all gonna pretty much stick with the standard what Cooper's had for the last couple of games doesn't seem to make many changes. Is there anything key that you would change, or are we going to go with the tried and tested?
Probably on my side, Cabango in for Norton. That would be only change for the last game, I would say. But
the last league game,
everything else. Yeah, last league game, yeah. And I'd change. I'm sorry, I keep everything else. So yeah, keep Fulton in top bins, you know. So yeah, up the Swans.
Yeah, I don't know. The only one for me, you boys mentioned, I think maybe might be tempted to play Morris instead of Lowe. Maybe that one, but apart from that, it would be the same as usual. I can't wait to see what he actually is going to do when all those midfielders are fit, to try and pick 3 out of that when Smith is fit again.
Yeah, so Smith is back available this week.
Yeah, he'd probably be on the bench when he first came back, but when they're all fully fit, I wouldn't like to be the one picking that 3 in the middle, because they're all putting their hands up at the moment, right?
Yeah. Jordan, anything you would change, or are you happy as it is?
Cabango in for Norton, and again in regards to the strikers, I think Ayew now he's had a rest after the City game. I mean, I don't know many people that wouldn't drop Ayew. Like, obviously he starts for me, and then one of Morris or Lowe.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Then I think we're all quite in agreement on that. So before we finish the video, then I'm going to put everyone on the spot and ask for prediction, score, and goal scorers. So we'll start with the guest then. So Jordan, what are you saying?
I'll go for 2-0 Swans, and I want to say Hurahan, but that'd be 4-4. Like, it's just not.
Hey, go with your gut, Jordan.
I didn't go with him. I didn't go with him because I was like, he's not going to do 3-3, and then he did. So.
Do you know what? I'm gonna push it out there. I'm gonna say 2-0 Swans, Hurahan to get both. There we are.
Oh wow,
nice! I like that.
That's well, if that comes in, then all over Twitter. Lee, what are you saying?
I was thinking 2-0 as well, but I'll mix it up. I'll just drop one off. I'll go 1-0, and I'm still waiting for it. Bennett, header from a corner.
Nice, rate that.
Still waiting for that to come in.
Would enjoy it. Horahan assist.
There we are.
Tasty.
Yeah, take that.
Scott, Fulton top ins.
Of course, that is definitely one. But going back to Lee's prediction, if Bennett scores, there's going to be an elbow in the face and it's going to be disputed probably, but hopefully not. But yeah, I'm going to go with 3-0.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm thinking Swans are going to score a bit more. I'm going to go with Fulton, obviously, top bins. I'm going to go with Hurahan and Grimes, all 3 midfielders to score, actually. Yeah, because I know that Grimes likes to follow Hurahan after he scores, so 2 left foot booties and then a top bin bender from Fulton to finish it off.
I mean, you look at Grimes, it's like as if he's took it personal, isn't it, that Hurahan's been brought into the side.
Yeah,
I am the left footer in this team, not you, kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But it's good to see him up in his game getting on. To be honest, Horan taking corners is allowing him to score the goals from the edge of the box. A couple of his goals have been from, like, what comes after a corner. So it's working out, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be there normally
definitely.
if he's taking it. And I don't think anyone else in our team strikes it from the edge other than those 2 really. So maybe Dander, but I'm going to go with 2-1 Swansea, and I'm going to say Ayew scored in the last league game, so I think he tends to go quiet for a bit, and then he has a couple in a row. So I'm going to say he's going to get 1, and I'm going to say Morris is going to come on and score the winner after Forest get an equaliser.
Love that. Would like to see Morris get a goal.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good.
He should have won a penalty the other day as well, so he's definitely making an impact. So I'm hoping to see him get on the score sheet. So yeah, that's that then. So looking forward to Wednesday. Hopefully we can talk about this after the match with a win. We'll be celebrating that. Otherwise, again, Jordan, if you want to remind everyone where they can find you on Twitter.
Yeah, so my name, Jordan Webber, and then 96 at the end.
And really appreciate you coming on. You're more than welcome to come on in the future and maybe do a full podcast with us at some point. And
yeah, no problem at all. Really enjoyed it, lads. Thank you for having me.
Before you finish,
yeah,
Jordan, will Do a Goal come out during the game on Wednesday?
if we're 3-0 up at half time, then definitely not. But if we're like 0-0 on the hour mark, I might have to send him for a cheeky warm up.
I will hold you to that. There will be tweets coming your way with that now.
Everyone be tweeting, do a goal.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while, to be honest. So it's definitely do a comeback, and So if it's like 0-0 on the hour mark, or if it's absolutely disastrous, where we're like 3-0 down in 20 minutes, then yeah, definitely.
And I did actually forget, there's one more thing I wanted to mention, so we can maybe talk about that quickly. There was rumours surfacing about Steve Cooper being linked with Crystal Palace. Now, I think originally it came from The Sun, so how reputable, take it as you will, take it with a pinch of salt, whatever. But he did address that in his conference today when he was asked by journalists, where he said, it's not worth talking about, it's irrelevant, I'm just focused on the games in hand, they're coming quick and fast, and that is all I'm focused about. He was also addressing the fact that when the owners had an interview like a week or so ago, they mentioned sorting a new deal out. It was the same answer for both questions, essentially. So what do we make of that then? Cooper to Palace. My personal view is, it depends if we go up. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, exactly like what you just said there. I do think it depends if we go up, because Cooper hasn't, done himself any harm. He's definitely put himself in the window for a couple of clubs, I think, in the Premier League. But if I remember, Potter said something similar, and then a few days later, he's holding up a Brighton shirt. So, it's one of those things, and like a manager is always going to keep it quiet. But me personally, I can't see Steve Cooper going anywhere. Not for a while anyway. Even if we stayed in the Championship, I think it will take something special, like for him to be persuaded to go.
Yeah,
and any Crystal Palace fans listening, like, no offense, but I don't see that being a huge step up.
Well, I think
if it was someone a little bit more established in the Premier League in terms of looking maybe towards Europa League, maybe. I'm not saying Cooper may be at that level, but I just can't see him being persuaded by Palace personally.
Well, he's a young English manager with credentials of developing young English players and working on a shoestring budget. So, there's, that's got to tick a lot of boxes for some Premier League clubs.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm sitting here now saying I can't see why Cooper would go to Palace, but then I said I can't see why Potter would go to Brighton. So we'll edit this bit out as well. It's one of those things. You're not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely staying, and you're not going to say, yeah, I'm definitely going. Yeah. It's such a tricky question to be asked, but
no, it is a tricky one to discuss. Yeah. I didn't mean to put anyone on the spot, but it's just one of them has come up, and obviously big news in the Swans world at the moment. So hopefully he won't go.
Definitely.
I can't see it.
I think I feel really comfortable about it, to be honest, only because it came from the Sun.
Yeah.
If it was someone a little bit more reliable, then I'd probably believe it a little bit more. But no, I hope he stays, obviously. I think he's definitely... I mean, when he came in for Potter, I had no clue.
No, I don't think anyone did.
About Steve Cooper, to be honest. I was a little bit, nervous at first, because I was like, right, okay, never had a senior job, but...
World Cup winner.
Yes, World Cup winner, yeah. But, I think he's done really well taking over from Potter, and I definitely don't want to see him go, and I think I would like to think I speak for a few people there that they don't want to see Cooper go yet.
Yeah, I think it took like a year for everyone to buy around to him. Like, obviously you had people come around earlier than others, but you had a lot of people not necessarily bought into him until even the start of this season. They still hadn't, but it feels like now everyone is behind him. But yeah, Lee, did you have anything you wanted to say on that?
No, not much else really. I think I don't think we'll see anything to happen anyway if it was to happen, and I hope it doesn't until the end of the season. I think the only thing that frustrates me is it's probably a compliment to us really, but literally every job that's going to come up now, Cooper's name's going to be thrown out there.
Yeah.
It's just really frustrating. Like, I know it's a compliment to us, probably just because teams recognise now the way that we set up and the way that we do business. But I said to you the other day, like, you look at Thomas Frank and everybody says, oh, good Brentford. His name is never thrown about as a candidate for jobs that come up. But Cooper now, I know didn't really happen, but he was mentioned about the Derby job when they sacked their manager, and now Palace has come up, whether it's true or not. But it's just frustrating. But I hope it continues in a way because it means that we're doing well. But,
Thomas Frank is an asshole, though, so that's why his name doesn't get thrown out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've made my views very clear on Thomas Frank, and it hasn't gone down well with Brentford fans. But there we are.
One of the other
No one likes
boys,
them
Chris, did as well in one of these videos. Yeah. All
That
right. Well,
was in one of the videos, well, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've covered all the points there, so I'll end the video now. So cheers all for coming. Thanks, Jordan, for appearing on our show. And cheers,
no bother
Lee.
at all. Really enjoyed it. Cheers, lads.
That's all right. Cheers, Lee. Cheers, Scott, for coming back.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll
cheers,
see you all
lads.
again.
Cheers, lads.
And
Up a Swans.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
don't forget,
Jacks.
if you did enjoy this video, subscribe and you will be up to date on everything that we do put out there. It really helps us grow and shows us you like what we are doing. Give us any feedback you want in the comments. Tell us if you agreed with us, if you think we're talking rubbish, whatever. Tell us in the comments, and leave a like as well if you enjoyed, and we shall catch you in the next video. See you later.
Boop, boop.